mean, that one thing is they will see the evolution from then and now, but the other thing is that the most important thing that I ever experienced in this process was that when I guess I would call him a fan. He came up to me after an event and was like, he was asking me if I was still rapping. I was like, because there were several points where I thought about just giving it up, and letting it go. And he was like, man, you can't quit. I was like, it's not doing nothing for me. He was like, yeah, but if you quit, it ain't gonna be no real ones left. And I was like, so then it became a responsibility to stay involved in some way. And I love it too much to not, I mean, I don't have to necessarily put out an album or anything like that, but if I get the urge to create music, if something inspires me and I'm like, man, this is something that's going to be good, then I'll do it. Or I want to be a part of this because, oh man, I got these 8 bars, 12 bars, 16 bars or whatever for this that's going to help.
Man, that's dope because you hear basketball players, like I'm watching the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary. And he's saying, I would have balled. Yeah, it is fire. I would have played for free. Because I just love the game. Like, I mean, yes, of course, I'm making these $1 million. I ain't going to play for free. But at the end of the day, you would have caught me.
But he did play for free. Like when he, they was doing, and which was one of the best parts of the story for me was like, when he was doing Space Jams and they built that arena for him. And he's calling up NBA players, hey, we playing for free. Like, they was literally playing for free.
So I heard a story today about that dome. I was listening to Bill Bellamy. He came across my feed.
Bill
Bellamy said he just happened to be on a Warner Brothers set the same time Michael Jordan. They built the dome for Michael Jordan for Space Jam. And he was like, man, I got to get that famous where they build a dome for me. He said in this dome, they got masseuses, locker rooms, showers. He said it was the North Carolina court.
A workout facility.
I mean, everything. He said, Michael, you said, hey, called him. He said, look, come run with us. He said, Tyus Edney was there. I mean, he said a lot of names. And I'm just like, he said, he running with Mike. He said, Mike passing the ball. He said, Mike, he flicked it to him. He said, the car, he said, it had some heat on it. He said, man, it's like, you said it's an NBA type pass. It tripped me out. I was like, man, but it was the dopest story I've heard. So it's funny that you mentioned the dome because a lot of people don't understand what greatness is.
Man.
And for you to say that it became a responsibility just because of one fan. And as an artist, you don't know who's listening or who's watching. And I deal with that. And it's funny how, I don't know if you're a religious man or God is all that, but God, I feel like God is this, and I don't want to shortchange God, but I feel like this is how I feel. So whenever I get down, ain't nobody watching this, ain't nobody paying me no attention. Man, I may get a text out the blue, man, love your podcast getting better, or just a random person, I saw your podcast, man, it's dope, or man, I love that game from the whip, man, that's dope, man, and it's sporadic. It's very random.
It's crazy how little something can do to give you
just enough gas,
just enough to let you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Just something.
You know what's crazy is like me. People, if they ask you about me, like besides music, I'm a controversial type person in a sense where one of my goals is to create thought. Like, what I do is I take topics and I throw them out there. I mean, like, one of the things I would do is called singles therapy. Like, I would.
So that explains why we met at the dating is dead. Yeah.
And so there's topics about like Miss Independent or whatever else. Like that's what I spoke on your podcast.
Yes,
before.
Yes, sir.
And so there are things that might be controversial to a degree in train of thought, but it does create a conversation or an energy that says, hey, I need to think about this a little more. And I do that a lot on my page. I mean, it could be from LeBron versus Jordan to, like I said, singles therapy questions or whatever. But what I would find is that people that they wouldn't comment on a post, they wouldn't. I don't know who sees it, but I would see somebody, random person, out in public, and then they would come to me. your post about this, and this made me feel this way. Like I had a post about prenuptial agreements or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But what ended up happening was a girl who was getting married, she had that conversation with her husband-to-be about it. And they got on the same page. And I was like, oh, so y'all had the conversation.
Gotcha.
And so I take that approach with my music because it deals with race, religion, it deals with politics, it deals with community, it deals with love, it deals with all those things, those aspects that create an energy that's like, okay. I mean, and some of it's lighthearted and fun and childhood. Like, oh, I remember when I was in 8th grade and I liked that particular girl.
Yeah.
I liked that girl and I was all nervous, scared of her, you know. Like, and that's, like I said, that's what I want to do is create
emotions.
Yeah, I want to create emotions. I want to create music that makes you remember, it makes you feel, it brings you to a place.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm proud about this project for, this concept, iAM, is that I feel like I was able to tap into that energy and to make people feel a certain type of way.